The Founder, a biopic based on Ray Kroc, played by Michael Keaton, written by Robert Siegel and directed by John Lee Hancock. Ray Kroc, played by Michael Keaton, is a man who is driven by persistence, desire, and ambition in order to succeed in his life. The man, the myth, the legend, the icon, I'm Batman. Michael Keaton is really good in this movie. His performance as Ray Kroc was phenomenal. I don't know anything about Ray Kroc personally, so I'm just basing this off Michael Keaton's performance alone. Michael Keaton was really effective in this movie. His delivery as a performer is very effective. It's believable. I believed all the scenes that he was in. There are no flaws with Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton is the best. Nick Offerman and John Carroll Lynch are in this movie, and they play the two creators of McDonald's. They were really good in this movie. They really played off each other really well. Their scenes with Michael Keaton were really well executed, especially the scenes when they're on the phone. Nick Offerman, I've seen him a lot in movies, and he usually plays comedies. Nick Offerman is like the comic relief in this movie, but he's also serious as well. So he has a perfect dynamic of seriousness and being funny. And I thought Nick Offerman was really great in his role. He was serious when he needed to be. He was funny when he needed to be. He's very effective. John Carroll Lynch is in here, and I also see him playing funny stuff as well in a lot of movies. And in this, he's not really funny. He is, I think, leaning more towards the serious side. But overall, his performance was really good. It was effective. He was believable. I liked him in his role. And there's a little scene where he has something happen to him, and I personally really felt for the guy. I was like, that's really heavy. And so he was really good. Him and Nick Offerman were really a fantastic duo in this movie, and they played off each other really well, and I liked them both. Laura Dern plays Michael Keaton's wife in this movie, and she was good with what she had to work with. Personally, I thought that they should have gave her more. But when you look back on it, it takes place during the 1950s, and so I guess during that time period, you know, women weren't really doing a lot. So I guess it made sense, but I really wish she had more to work with because she's such a good actress. They really didn't give her enough to do in this movie. She was just like the wife in the background. I mean, she had her moments where, you know, she would confront Michael Keaton's character and say something to him. But then, you know, he would still treat her like crap, and so I was just like, oh, you know, why don't you do something about this? But Laura Dern, with what she had to work with in this movie, she was good. I wish they would have just given her more to do. The directing in this movie is extremely well polished. I haven't seen any of John Lee Hancock's movies. I don't know what his film geography looks like, but with this movie is extremely well polished. It's colorful, it's poignant, it's vibrant, it's beautiful to look at. It flows cohesively. Each scene transcends into the next scene. The flow is so great. There's one scene in this movie where it looks like a commercial, and I admit, watching this scene, it made me want to go and have some McDonald's burgers. I personally don't eat McDonald's, but watching this little advertisement, but it worked in the movie, but watching it, it did make me want to be like, okay, I want some McDonald's now. But the directing was so stylish in this movie as to setting like the tone and what time period we as an audience were in. It felt really cinematic. It was very beautiful. It wasn't over the top, and the production value looked really good in this as well. So I can't complain in the directing field. Like it was very, like I said, beautiful, poignant, colorful. The directing in this thing was phenomenal. I was engaged, my eyes were glued to the screen. It was intense for what was happening and how people were being treated and the back and forth between everyone. It was great, and I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. I loved it. Now, I don't know anything personally about Ray Kroc, the character. All I can base this off of is what Michael Keaton did in this movie. And Michael Keaton's character, Ray Kroc, is a vicious asshole. Start off and he's a salesman and he's struggling and he has, you know, these ambitions and goals, and you can tell that he wants something more in his life because he actually listens to records of being positive and being persistent. And so he tries to get that self-motivation going in order to, you know, what the American dream is, accomplish it and be a success. And I love the way the movie played Michael Keaton's character out, because it's like he has a transition from point A to point B. He starts off as a guy who's like, yes, you know he's ambitious, you know he has desires and goals, but how far is he willing to go to accomplish those things? And so the movie depicts like this descent into just insanity, you could say, because it's like, you know he's not a completely nice guy, but he's not a complete asshole at the beginning. So the movie goes on and on and on, and his character just completely changes once you see the transitions he goes through, because it's like, you could say in real life, I like the way this movie depicts real life. It's like, in real life, not everything's all strawberries and chocolate and walking through the garden and smelling the flowers, you know? It's not all like that. Sometimes life is gloomy and dark and depressing, and that's what this is. There are not a lot of high notes in this movie. Nick Offerman and John Carroll Lynch's characters in this movie, they're completely nice guys. They're like your neighbors. They really heavily focused on the relationship that Ray Kroc had with the McDonald's creators, and it was really good, the back and forth, like the phone calls and them talking and then them being upset and then him being disrespectful and all that. I loved all that stuff. It worked out really well. When you see what Michael Keaton's character does to them in this movie, it's completely horrifying. It's like, how could you treat someone like that? It's like, what Nick Offerman said in this movie illustrates this perfectly. It's like, you know, when you meet someone new for the first time and you want to have this person as a potential friend, you need to be careful, because you could open yourself up to the wrong person. You can open your heart and reveal yourself, and then this person can take it and do whatever they want with it. They can backstab you, they can use it against you, and that's what happened here with these three characters. And I thought Nick Offerman's character said that perfectly in this movie and perfectly illustrated what was happening. I wish this movie would have elaborated more on Michael Keaton and Laura Dern's character's personal relationship. I like what Laura Dern did in this movie. I wish she had more to work with, because there were scenes in this movie, the movie would point out that, yes, as an audience member, I know what's going on here. I know that there's something wrong. She could tell that there was something wrong with the relationship, but she wouldn't say anything. I mean, she would say something, but only when it was too late. And there's this one scene where I was saying to myself that, yeah, man, why don't you just stick up for yourself and say something to him, because you know that there's something that's wrong. As an audience member, I can sense it, even though I've already seen it. Being inside of her head, I know that she knows that there's something wrong, but she just won't say anything until it's too late. The only thing that I wish this movie had was an extra 30 minutes. I really enjoyed this movie. I just wish there was an extra 30 minutes onto it so they could elaborate a bit more on the relationship with himself and his friends and family, because from what I understand from my research that I've done is that his ambitions and his goals really deteriorated his relationships with his friends and family, and I wish the movie would have focused on that a bit more, and it would have been an A or an A minus. But as of right now, it's just like, it's good, but I wanted more. This movie is really good. I really like this movie. It's a personal story, and from what I understand, it's pretty factual, and I enjoyed it. I really liked it. Like I said, the directing was really beautiful, colorful, polished. It looked great, cinematic, stylish. Michael Keaton, great in his performance, really effective in his role. Nick Offerman, John Carroll Lynch, really great in their performances, really delivered. I really felt for them personally in this movie. Laura Dern did a good job with what she had to work with. I just wish the movie elaborated a bit more on Michael Keaton's character's relationship with Laura Dern's character. I wish I would have learned more about their relationship, but the movie, it's just like the relationship in the story comes and goes, and that's not really the focal point, so I was a bit sad about that. I wish the movie would have focused on more of the personal relationships he had within himself and with his family and friends. And from what I understand is that he had a daughter, and in the movie they didn't illustrate that, so that would have been a cool thing to add in there. It's like, yeah, he's battling stuff with his daughter because he's not paying attention to her and their relationship is deteriorating. I wish they would have put that in there as well. I really like this movie. It's really good. I just wish it would have had an extra 30 minutes onto it and been a bit more elaborate on like the personal relationship with himself, his wife, and just his friends and family, and how his desire and goals really deteriorated the relationships around him. You shouldn't have to step on people and crush people in order to succeed in life, and that's what Michael Keaton's character did. And it's a really horrible thing. Like, this movie doesn't have a lot of high notes, and I like that because that's just the way life is sometimes. And, you know, hopefully we can all help each other and be better people, and not be so self-righteous and self-absorbed and so narrow-minded and focused just on the things that we want for ourselves, and not appreciate the things that we already have. Like they say, you know, it's like, you need to appreciate the things you have, and if you don't appreciate the things you have, then you'll never have anything, you know? And I agree with that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.